Welcome to another week of Cheers TV with your host Dan Sims and my esteemed colleague Mr. Ben Edwards. We are the
Ben.
Wine Guide and we're here to talk you through a number of wintry reds.
Baby, it's cold outside and
It
we
is
are in
cold.
Melbourne. You can see we're rugged up and given that we're in the southern states and it's getting pretty chilly, it's winter.
Very cold.
What better thing to discuss than a little winter warmth at the bottom of the bottle?
Absolutely. Now, when we start to think about winter warmers, sometimes we tend to think of those that are really big, rich, syrupy, super high alcohol styles of red wine. Which
But not necessarily the place to go.
Absolutely, especially when we're talking about food matching. They tend to be almost sit in their own category that you literally have to drink them with a knife and fork, so to speak. So
But
today,
we don't really want to drink with a knife and fork, do we?
Well, no, because
Seems stupid. But people do get into those styles of wine. So we're going to look at a range of wines that hopefully gives you an alternative but still warms the cockles of your heart.
So, that's actually quite nice, actually, isn't it? The first stop, we're going to have a look at the Toysner Ribkey Shiraz, which is from the Barossa Valley. Now, the fruit from this particular wine comes from more in the northern part of Barossa, from around the Ebenezer, from the Ribkey brothers.
You just like saying that, don't you? Ebenezer.
Ebenezer, here's a good. This particular wine, lovely, nice and bright and fresh. You know, this is good Barossa, but it's clean, it's unoaked, so you're getting all that lovely, rich, ripe, beautiful, plush, purpley fruit character to it.
Absolutely, and it's kind of unadorned, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
just the pure essence of the Barossa without it being too much.
It is, and look, you're talking about a $22 retail wine, 89 points, fantastic value, easy to drink on its own, or even with a lovely bit of steak. It's an absolute no-brainer.
I know the dish.
Tell me.
Karen Martini recently did a dish with the pot roast chul. Absolute crackingly good dish. It would be brilliant with it, especially
like
with
it.
those beautiful potatoes that go in it. Yum, yum, yum. Now, we're staying in South Australia now for the second wine, which is the SC Panel Pronto. Now this is a little tribute wine, if you like, made in the Adelaide region because that's where the wine is made, and it's Iberian Peninsula.
Spit that
it's
out,
like
Ben.
I'm
Maybe
gonna
it's
get
the
there.
temperature. It's a little bit cold. You need to warm up a little bit.
You know
more.
what? I'm not saying it with a lisp. So Garnacha is the predominant grape variety here. We also have some Monastrell and also a very exciting grape variety which we're seeing more of now in Australia, Touriga Nacional. Portuguese grape variety, beautiful stuff. This one is really essency and it's warm and it's inviting, but there's lovely brightness and crispness to the acidity, so it gives you a line and a bit of cut. And for me, I'm starting to get into the more sort of braised dishes when we get into this one. What do you think?
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more.
Points-wise, 92 points, because it's got so much going on and the concentration's absolutely lovely and beautifully constructed.
I also think it's got a high drinkability as well. You know, you could drink 2 or 3 glasses with that instead wine that you enjoy and not necessarily in moderation.
Yes.
But as
the
long as
tannins are really soft and supple.
Yeah. Now, speaking of tannins that are not quite so supple, we're going to move on to the All Saints Giriffe from Rutherglen. Now, Giriffe from Rutherglen, you know, this good old region of Rutherglen. It's a very historic area. When we think about Giriffe, we tend to think of big, rich, heavy, super ripe, and sometimes quite high in alcohol reds.
But this is not necessarily the case.
Absolutely. They're starting to see a lot more of an evolution of style in the region of Rutherglen. Okay, this particular wine from All Saints has still got the hallmarks of, you know, a classic Giriffe, being that sort of rich, dark berry core.
But you've almost got to chew your way through the fruit.
Yeah.
But this one's got a bit of freshness and light, hasn't it? And while you're having a taste of it, it's got all of the hallmarks of Giriffe. It tells you that you need something rich and deep and casserole to go with it. But then
Absolutely, it gives a bit of freshness, fresh character to it, and also the colour of this wine. I mean, it's very hard to see in front of a camera, but it's very vibrant. It's got a really lovely purpley hue, and I saw this wine recently in front of a whole bunch of sommeliers masked, and we had no idea what it was, and all of us couldn't quite figure out where it was, which I think was a great little indication for Rutherglen.
It was very well received. It's $23, very high quality Giriffe.
I mean, I'm going to be giving it about 87, 88 points. It's an interesting style to keep an eye on, but it's still, yes, it's about 14.5% alcohol, but it's a good little drink.
We wanted to talk about Rutherglen because in terms of the heritage of the Australian landscape, you know, it's got a beautiful story, and they're hanging it on their dry reds, but also on the next thing we're going to. And we're going to an old vine Muscadelle. Now, the old vine Muscadelle, it used to be called, and for some people it still is called Tokay. Muscadelle's a great variety. Chambers is one of those producers that have been around forever and just year in, year out produce beautiful wines and over-deliver. Now, at this level, qualification or classification in Rutherglen, I reckon that's well above its weight. And I can just tell you, in terms of the joy of drinking this wine, you know, it envelops you, it warms you, and it really makes you want to drink more of it.
I think we are on a personal mission to get people to drink more fortified wines. They are special and incredibly unique style of wine that we have here in Australia. So please
Get out there and drink them.
buy it and drink them, because if we don't, they'll disappear, and that will be a national tragedy. So, but Ben, Old Vine Muscadelle, Tokay, what's it called now?
I can't say, Dan. I've sworn that I would never say the new name.
They did spend a lot of money on it, though.
Yes, well, that's right. If a lot of the funding that went into this went into other areas and to keep people off the streets, we'd be doing quite well. Government money could have been used better than what they've decided to call Tokay.
Topak. Anyway, moving on. Thank you very much for joining us for another week of Independent Wine Advice. We will see you next week.
Cheers.
Cheers.